Welcome, this is Manish Patel from IMTF Trade. Today is November 27. I'm going to give you a market update today. It's been a while since we've given a market update. The reason why is market's kind of just been going through and ranging and really nothing to really do updates on for a video basis. We've been sitting there blogging on social media so you could see the updates there. But let's go through and quickly give you a market update on everything that's going out there. If you guys remember the VIX, we look at the VIX and the E-minis to kind of judge where the market's going. Here's a weekly chart of the VIX. And remember, the VIX is inverse relationship to the stock market. So the VIX goes up, stock market goes down, and so forth. Okay. If you remember, for years we've been outlining the VIX to these current levels here. The levels between 1750 and 1029 is basically the bullish zone here when the markets are bullish. When it's above this level here, which is 1750 to 2947, then basically the markets are bearish. And if you're just sitting there hovering around this line here, as we are right now, you could kind of see we're just kind of consolidating, but more towards a bearish probability where the market still can go bearish. Okay, so this is kind of the way that we look at the markets, always from a long-term view. So we're always looking for bullish opportunities here on swing trading time frames when we're between here, and bearish opportunities here on swing trading time frames and so forth. Okay, of course the highest probabilities are breakouts, and then especially when you're sitting there right around this range here, and then the lowest probabilities are pullbacks, but we also have the IMTF indicator which helps with our probabilities. And if you zoom out, you could kind of see exactly the levels here, and you could kind of see that this range here that we outlined has been there for years, and it's worked really, really well there. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea there. Let's go to a daily chart and kind of get a micro view of what. Okay, so here's the daily chart here. You could kind of see the levels that we have in the weekly there, and you could kind of see there's an IMTF resistance here. So that's a multiple time frame resistance right there in the daily. That's basically right now holding this market from tanking, believe it or not. So this is a very critical level at 2314. If we sit there and break that resistance, then we do have a high probability going in 2947, and that means basically markets are going to go down. So it's very critical that we close below that line every time and stay below that line as long as we move forward. The good thing is now is that it increases the probability to get to the support at 1750, and believe it or not, at that point it may consolidate a little, but it will sit there and consolidate. And if it consolidates a little around this line, you're going to have a high probability it's going to enter this bullish zone, and then increase the probabilities of getting down to this 1029 going into the end of the year. So a lot of people are talking bearish on the stock market channels and blogs and stuff like that. However, believe it or not, this could be possibly the bottom here, and we could sit there and start making a move going into December and January. But we have to kind of see and wait and what's going on here as far as the VIX is concerned, and see what the levels happens and what happens, especially at this level here once we get there. Let's go look at the E-mini S&P 500 futures now. Here's the E-mini S&P 500 futures on the weekly time frame. You can see we're going up, 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 up. Then we broke this little support level here. Let me mark off that support level here because that's a very critical one here. We broke that, and then pretty much we've gone for a major pullback. The downward move, believe it or not, is the first major pullback we've had since we started this bullish run back here in 2016. And I know it's kind of crazy, but it's actually healthy, believe it or not, for this market, and that's kind of what we had. On the very first run going down for the major pullback, we came to the bottom of the cloud here, and we kind of held that support at 2609.25. That stopped us going into possibly a bearish consolidation pattern or bearish trend, and that pretty much stops it right now too. Over here we kind of went back up to this level here and held that resistance here at 2778. 2776.75. We held that resistance level, and now we basically made the journey back down. Notice the cloud has moved. There's a support right here, and we outlined it right there at 2636. So we're kind of holding that support right now, and the reason why this cloud has moved, and that's very critical for us to hold that support. If we don't hold that support, then we're going to come back down to this support, major support level, and we possibly can break it. But based on the VIX and also the level here, there's high probability now we're going to hold this level here on the S&P at 2637, and we're going to make our move back to 2776.75, and we possibly could break it since we're going back to that level again. If we don't break that level, then we're pretty much going to consolidate between these two levels here moving forward. But it does still give us a bullish outlook where possibly we do have a bottom in now in this week. Last week, and we possibly could sit there and start to move up now. So let's look at the Nasdaq, because that technology has been leading, and see where that goes. Here's the Nasdaq. You can see the long trend here that basically started back in July 2016. You could see it broke its support here at 71.50.75 and started the major pullback. Didn't quite get to the bottom of this cloud here. You could see that there, but kind of held it to support at 64.58.75, and that's the kind of support we're looking for it to continue to keep on holding. And then the top, the resistance is going to be 71.50. So that's the weekly time frame. Now here's the daily time frame of the Nasdaq. It's kind of interesting because if you look at it here, we started a bearish trend, we came back up here, we bleeped a little above that resistance level here for a day, but we kind of did not sit there and follow through and hold it. Notice it came back and closed here, and the next day it kind of went down, and we came right back to this bottom here and retested this. Notice how effective this support's been, and that's been holding there. So now the question is this bearish trend over on a daily time frame Nasdaq, or is it going to keep on going higher? Next critical level you could see from this multiple time frame resistance level is going to be right about here, 62.50. That's the level that we need to sit there and break in order to sit there and have increased the probabilities to sit there and come back to that resistance level at 71.50.75. So the only way this markets are going to go up is not based on the daily time frame, but more the weekly, the long-term traders. So it's going to be interesting kind of see what's going on towards the end of the year now, what people will do towards December from the institution perspective and also the retail perspective, because you got taxes, you got institutions that are going to be looking to sit there and reposition in for next year. You got theories such as dogs of the Dow that's going to be coming into play. You also got the small cap, a January effect that's going to be coming into play too. So there's a lot of things that are going to be coming into play. Let's quickly look at the Russell too, because that's been the laggard always to the markets. Here's a Russell futures on the daily time frame, and you can see that's the level right there that it needs to break in order to sit there and stop this bearish movement going down. You can see it kind of did a double bottom right now, but it needs to be confirmed. The only way it could be confirmed is got to break that resistance level and go higher. So that's kind of critical to see what's going on. So we'll wait and see what's happening there. Let's quickly look at Bitcoin and some other currencies too, because that's been in the news a lot too. Here's Bitcoin here. We kind of outlined the range here between 61.71 and 73.12. Last time we blogged, we gave you this range, and we told you that if we break this support here, we're going to go a lot lower. And you can see this multiple time frame support there. So we're at it, believe it or not, a major critical support level here for Bitcoin. It's got to sit there and hold that. If it doesn't, this has got a high probability, believe it or not, to sit there, go back into this range and 2000s and 1000s and stuff like that, and it will not be good at all overall for it. So this is a very critical range here, and you could kind of see here we held this red line here, which is a short-term resistance, so it was bound to sit there and break that support eventually. Let's quickly look at the daily time frame, and you could see that we have the black dots here, so we're overextended now, but you could still see that we've been overextended for a long time, and it still can't sit there and break this here. So we got to wait and see exactly what's going to happen here. Lower time frames, they've got to start showing a bottom here and then start to move up. Let's go look at some quickly the dollar currency. For the dollar currencies, I like to look at the EURUSD. This is spot currency from the Ananda feed, and this is the daily. Let's quickly go to the weekly, and you can kind of see what's going on there. You could see here, and then just waiting for it to pull up. Okay, you could see here from the charts here that basically you're coming up to a major multiple time frame support, which is right here, and we've been holding that level, which is right there for a while. You can see a little spike down that's come there, and then we're kind of holding that level there. As far as the resistance is concerned, you're looking at probably about right there is the resistance right there. That's the range right now we're looking at. If it breaks the support here, watch out. It's going to sit there and keep on going lower. But there's high probability it's going to sit there and hold the support here. Actually, no, it's not high probability to hold support. You've got to look at the daily for that. Sorry, misspoke. And you could see here from the daily here that it's sitting there, it's going for some confusion right now. It's trying to retest this little low here, and it's kind of holding that little minor low, right, which is right there. So that's kind of like the minor support right there. If that minor support holds, then we're going to definitely come back up to here, and we could sit there and see the dollar weakening against the euro with time, but we'll have to wait and see. We need to see some price action on the lower time frames to confirm everything. Okay. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to email us at info@eiicapital.com. Look for other video updates and also blogs on our social media. Have a good day.